The chapter heading is Diti vows to kill King Indra. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nastu Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nastiti. So today we are starting from text 23. Text 23. Sri Sukdev Goswami said, just to help Indra, Lord Vishnu killed the two brothers of Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. The two brothers Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. Because of their being killed, their mother Driti, overwhelmed with lamentation and anger, contemplated as follows. Text 24. Lord Indra, who is very much fond of sense gratification, has killed the two brothers of Hiranyaksha. The two brothers Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu by means of Lord Vishnu. Therefore, Indra is cruel, hard-hearted, and sinful. When will I, having killed him, rest with a pacified mind? Text 25. When dead, the bodies of all the rulers known as kings and the great leaders will be transformed into worms, stools, and ashes. If one enviously kills others for the protection of such a body, does he actually know the true interest of life? Certainly he does not. For if one is envious of the other entities, he surely goes to hell. Text 26. Dhriti thought, Indra considers his body eternal and thus he has become unrestrained. I therefore wish to have a son who can remove Indra's madness. Let me adopt some means to help me in this. Text 27-28. Thinking in this way, Dhriti began constantly acting to satisfy Kashyap Muni by her pleasing behavior. O king, Dhriti always carried out Kashyap's order very faithfully, as he ordered, as he desired. With service, love, humility, and control, with sweet words spoken very sweetly to satisfy her husband, and with smiles and glances at him, Diti attracted his mind and brought him under her control. Although Kashyap Muni was a learned scholar, that's text 29, he was captivated by Diti's artificial behavior, which brought him under her control. Therefore, he assured his wife that he would fulfill her desires. Such a promise by a husband is not at all astonishing. Text 30. In the beginning of creation, Lord Brahma, the father of the living entity of the universe, saw that all the living entities were unattached. To increase population, he then created women from the better half of man's body. For women's behavior carries away man's mind. Text 31. O my dear one, O the most powerful sage Kashyap, being extremely pleased by The mild behavior of his wife, Diti, smiled and spoke to her as follows. Text 32. Kashyap Muni said, O beautiful woman, O irreproachable lady, since I am very much pleased by your behavior, you may ask me for my benediction, for any benediction you want. If a husband is pleased, what desires are what desires are difficult for his wife to obtain, either in this world or the next? Text 33 and 34. A husband is the supreme demigod for a woman. The supreme personality of Godhead, Lord Vasudeva, the husband of the goddess of fortunate, the goddess of fortune, is situated in everyone's heart and is worshipped through the various names and the forms of the demigod by the fruitive workers. Similarly, a husband represents the Lord as the object of worship for a woman. I will pause here, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Kishore Ramani Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Yes, Krishna Prabhu, whenever you're ready, you can start, Prabhuji. Oh, we cannot hear your voice, Prabhuji. You're muted.
Thank you, Sundran Prabhuji. Thank you, Krishna Kishore Prabhuji, for reading the Bhagavatam today. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yogam Sikshashthamekam Purusha Puranam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Sariradari Krupam Prapadye. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So today we are seeing this section where it is titled as Diti vows to kill King Indra. So we can see that originally the demigods and Daityas, the Asuras, are actually came from the same family, same father, two different mothers. It's pretty much the same family lineage. So Diti's sons are called Daityas, and they are all on the Asura families. And then Aditi's sons were all demigods. They were all so two lineage that Sukadeva Goswami is describing here in this chapter. That so initially he described all Aditi's sons, and then so he said that later on he is going to describe about Vamanadev. So Vamanadev is also son of Kashyapa Muni and Aditi. So later on in the Bhagavatam he is going to describe. And also he said that in the lineage of Daityas, there was an exalted devotees, Prahlad Maharaj and Bali Maharaj. So later on he is going to expand on the Leelas, that the pastimes that Prahlad Maharaj and Bali Maharaj has performed. So now in this specific chapter, there was a question that was raised by Parikshit Maharaj. So Parikshit Maharaj was inquisitive that so Aditi Aditi's sons were Daityas, and Daityas are and Devatas are all they are not by their nature they are enemies. They are completely against. So Daityas are against Vishnu, and Devatas are all very confidential servants of Vishnu. So, but there was one instance where Diti's sons, the 46 of them, 49 of them, they were actually appointed as Maruts by Indra as Devatas. So this was very curious that now Parishit Maharaj was very curious. How is that possible? They have demoniac mentality. How did Indra convert them into demigods? He was asking that specific question. And he is also asking, did they perform any rituals or pious activities? So, so we can understand that it's not so easy to change the demoniac mentality. Um, So all of these devatas are very confidential servants of Vishnu. So even though they have karma mishra bhakti, they're very trustworthy. They will not at any point break that trust. So whatever Lord Vishnu says, whatever the devotee says, they will just follow. Like Indra also in one particular instance, he captures Hiranyakashipu's wife, Kayadu, right? And then immediately after Narada Muni says, no, no, what the baby in her womb, you will not be able to kill him. He is protected by Lord Vishnu himself, and he is a pure devotee of Vishnu. Then immediately he accepts the word and he immediately releases Kayadu. He has that because of that kind of a trust between Vishnu's devotees, Vishnu and demigods. So that trust is very, very important. If somebody is going to take a very particular position under somebody's care, then they have to have 100% trust. So because of all these demigods, they are, even though in Karma Mishra Bhakti, they are very much inclined to Lord Vishnu and his instructions. So now, starting from verse number 23, we'll see what Sukadeva Goswami is going to describe. How did they transform Aditi's sons? How did they become Maruts? So he's going to explain in these verses now. So Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, those, how did Lord Vishnu, after Lord Vishnu actually kills both of them, so Diti becomes very angry. She was with so much lamentation, she was angry that she wanted to, she's thinking that Indra is the cause. Because we all know that Indra, also when Hiranyakashipu was doing meditation, Indra took Kayadu, arrested her. So there was enmity. She knows that there is enmity. And Indra, because of Indra, he actually tied up with Vishnu and he killed my sons. That was her lamentation. So we can understand a mother is always very compassionate to her sons. Even though these two sons are doing all kinds of mischievous activities, she's still in that Vatsalya Bhav. She wanted to take that revenge. So it's not it's very uncommon for a woman to take this kind of position, but looks like she's a Kshatriya spirit lady. She, like, generally Kshatriyas have this kind of spirit, fighting spirit. So all of these, like Daityas and all of these asuras, they were also kings. Bali Maharaj is a king. So they are all, she's a Kshatriya spirit woman. She wants to take that revenge. Now she is trying to make a plan how I can do this. So now she's thinking that my husband is very powerful, Kashyap Muni. So what is not possible if he is willing to help me in this endeavor? So she makes this plan and tries to, without letting him know that she's making a plan to please him in all ways, all respects, so that she gets his favor. So now, before she makes the plan, she's contemplating that Sukadeva Goswami is also giving all the contemplation. She's thinking, Indra is so cruel, he's hard-hearted, he's a sinful. How can he, kill my sons? He just wants power. He's in that position of demigods. He's enjoying there. He's got this power. So like this, she is contemplating, and all of her anger is getting evoked. And she's also philosophically thinking that dead bodies. So here there is a verse, it says that krimi with krimi is like the worms, bhashma samnyashit. So when the dead body is dead, it either becomes bhashma, ashes, or it becomes a stool with, or it becomes a food for krimis, the worms. So these are different ways the body, gets transformed. Like generally Hindus, we burn the body, then it becomes ashes. And there are some particular religion, they just throw the body like in the forest. They don't even bury, they just throw it, and then it becomes worms. The worms eats the body and then transforms into stool. So these are different ways the body gets transformed. The body is not permanent. It is actually the matter transforms from one energy to another form. So similarly, the body gets transformed. So now Diti is thinking, how is this that Indra is thinking that he wants to protect his body, which is temporary. Because of that, he killed my son's body. So this was her contemplation. So she is putting Indra as a very selfish, cruel person, so that she can, in her mind, that by killing Indra, no problem, he is a very bad person. She's coming to that kind of conclusion. So she's even saying that Kim Veda Niraya Yataha. So she's saying Bhuta Druk Tat Krite Swartham. So Swartham is very self-interested. He doesn't care about others. So she's kind of making Indra as like a portraying as a very, very bad person. So now finally Indra's Diti is also saying that um, Indra is thinking that this his body is eternal. He is completely mad. This body is, even though it's temporary, but he is thinking it's eternal. He wants to protect his position at any cost. So he's ready to do anything. Mada Shoshaka Indrashya. So Mada Shoshaka, like because of his madness, he's doing all kinds of things. He even killed my sons. So this was the position that now she's taking. She portrayed in her mind whatever her thoughts. Sukadeva Goswami just elaborated. Now thinking like this, Diti is constantly trying to satisfy Kashyap Muni. So, so when wife is very, very, behaving in a very pleasing way, then definitely we know there's some desire that is going to come out. So here also, she didn't say anything, but she was, serving very, very faithfully, and with such humility and service. Service has such power. So we can understand that even though Kashyapa Muni understood this is a little bit artificial, but he also got captivated by that service. So we can understand that the mode of service is very attractive. If that mode of service is done in a right consciousness, then that is even more attractive. Like Krishna himself, he gets attracted to pure devotional service. So what to speak of in this material world, everybody wants to be served. Nobody wants to serve. But even artificially, if we serve exalted personalities, unwillingly also we get purified. So even though she was serving Kashyapa Muni in a mood of taking revenge, but she was serving Kashyapa Muni. He was exalted personality. In the end, there is going to be a positive activity that's going to happen. Instead of uh, killing, the son who is going to kill Indra, she actually begets the opposite, who is going to be very uh, close to Indra, who is going to be friend to Indra. So that's because of the personality on the other side whom she is serving, Kashyapa Muni, is exalted personality. So now Prabhupada is commenting that this is the way that a wife, always very faithful, when she pleases husband, the wife can receive all kinds of necessities, ornaments, to full satisfaction to her senses. So when Prabhupada came to this country earlier, he was being asked by these reporters, Swamiji, you had some solution for our problems. Can you share some solutions? Like that. Then Prabhupada was sharing that in your country, I see that the social positions are not properly maintained. So you're trying to make woman and man equal, but they have different psychological factors. So when the woman tries to satisfy the husband, and then husband, faithfully, and then husband is very favorable to woman, then the family functions very peacefully, and then the country also will not have these kind of social disruptions, like a lot of divorces, single mother, people living on the government subsidies. So all these problems, Prabhupada was basically saying that the husband and wife, there is no cooperation. So the cooperation here, we can see how Diti, she won the heart of her husband by service. So now Kashyapa Muni, so he is completely captivated by Diti's very, very service behavior. Now he basically promises her that I would fulfill your desires. You know, so such a promise is not at all astonishing. So, so here we can see that generally this happens in every household, that when wife does a pleasing service and husband makes a promise, it happens all the time. So in the verse number 30, now there is Sukadev Goswami is also saying that Brahma uh, Vilokya Ekanta Bhutani Adav. So living entities, Prajapati, like Brahma is addressed as Prajapati. Striyam Chakre Swadeha Ardham Yaya Pumsham Matihi Hrutaha. So the Matihi is the mind. So Ardhaha means half. So he just created woman from the same body of a man, like a half of the same deha, like same swadeha, so that the woman captivates the mind of a man. So this is by design, by creation. So this is not something that we can overcome. This is by design, it is there. So Sukadeva Goswami is saying that this is very much natural in the human society, that this is by design, it's created like that. So otherwise, nobody will. There was a mention here that Brahmaji saw that all the living entities were unattached. So they, in order to make them attached and make them work in this material world, do some fruitive activities. This was by design. So, so we can understand that Srimad Bhagavatam also speaks of several verses where the attraction between woman and man is so strong. There was a particular verse in the ninth canto that Prabhupada is quoting. So there it says that Matras Swashra Duhitrava Naivi Na Avivikta Ashanaha Bhavet Balavan Indriya Gramo Vidvamsam Api Karshati. So in this verse, it's very strongly mentioned how this attraction can be so strong. So it says Matra, mother, Swashra, sister, or in Duhitra, one's daughter. So even with mother, sister, or daughter, if you sit in the same seat, same asana, then this indriya, this senses are so strong that one get attracted by the opposite sex. So, and it's even, it can be said it's only for people who are not educated. This verse says, no, no. Balavan Indriya Gramo Vidvamsam Api Karshati. So even the learned people who are very learned, Vidva, so they are also, because the senses are very strong. So in this verse, the height of this attraction is mentioned, how the senses are so strong. So Bhagavatam also, Vrishabdev Maharaj also says that Pumsa Striya Mithuni Bhavam Etan. So this creation is the Maithuni Bhavam, this attraction, sexual attraction is so strong that one gets captivated by it. So in the verse number 31, now sage being extremely pleased by his wife, Now he is Prahashya Paramo Prito. So he's become extremely very pleased. Parama Pritaha. So very pleased. Now he is just smiling. Prahashya, just smiling, and he just spoke to her. So verse number 32, Kashyap Muni is speaking. Sri Kashyapa Vacha. So now he's saying that Varam Varaya Vamoro. So he's saying, what is not obtainable for one who's very pleasing to his her husband. What is not obtainable? You may ask any benediction, Varam. So there is nothing difficult for such a wife to obtain. He's saying. Um, So now Kashyapa Muni is going to regret in the future. Why did he say that? Because she is asking for something negative, like she's asking for Indra to be killed, and for such an he's the head of all the demigods, and all the demigods are directly serving Lord Vishnu. So imagine his position, and he's also his son, like Kashyapa Muni is Aditi's son, and Kashyapa is the father. So in her own father, she is getting the benediction of killing his own son. From that perspective, also it's very cruel. But he's already being a Kshatriya. He promised. Promise is a promise, so he's given that. So now, verse number 32, he already made that varam. So now, verse number 33 is also quoting some shastric evidences that how husband is patir eva hi narinam. So daivatam paramam srutam. So he is comparing the husband as good as a demigod for a wife. So he's saying Lord Vasudev, the Supreme Vasudeva Striyapatihi. So the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vasudev, like the husband of Goddess of Fortune, he's saying that he is in everyone's heart, and he is worshipped through various names. So Krishna has Ananta Koti names, and he is all the demigods for his limbs. Similarly, he is saying that uh, the husband is also a representation of the Lord for the object of worship for a woman. So now, for this is applicable for anyone in this worldly, who has a worldly desires, who have lot of attachments. They normally go to devatas and they please. So this, in this material world, anybody powerful, they can be compared to a demigod. By pleasing them, you get some opulence. Similarly, a wife who is very faithful to husband, she can also get all kinds of desires fulfilled. But when she is advanced, she can actually worship Lord Vishnu. Then that is not required. So that's what here Prabhupada also elaborating. So in the Bhagavad Gita verse, ये अपि अन्य देवता भक्ता यजन्ते श्रद्धादान्वितः ते अपि माम एव कौन्तेय यजन्ति अविधि पूर्वकम. So actually, everybody is worshipping Vishnu, but then they are doing indirectly. So they are worshipping demigods, they are worshipping powerful people in this material world. So say like these worship is indirectly done, but actually all this is going to Lord Vishnu. So that is what in this verse, for example, Ajamila is naming his son as Narayana. By calling his son Narayana, he is actually advancing in bhakti by calling the name of the Lord. So similarly, if we are attached, a wife is attached to husband, and husband is a first class devotee, then that particular faithful act is actually indirectly bhakti. So similarly, Guru Maharaj. So all this, the devotion to a devotee is actually considered bhakti because they are connected with Lord Vishnu. So that was the original, the fact how this. But anyone who is attached for the senses, sense gratification, material desires, generally they go after worshipping demigods, and then they also worship one's husband for the satisfaction of their senses. So that is recommended. But one who has attained this, understood that everything is actually offering to Vishnu, then they can directly connect with Vishnu and offer their love and devotion. So that is the essence that Prabhupada is elaborating on this verse. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. That concludes today's verse number 34. श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, शिल प्रभुपाद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, वंशा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, devotees. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.